Hi Leo, welcome to your Uranus in Taurus special with me, Raphael Ray from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here with me. So, exciting times. So, Uranus in Taurus, everyone's talking about this, everyone's going mad for it, everyone's, got something to say about it and has been making all kinds of predictions. So, why is it a big deal? It's a big deal because Uranus moves through one sign in every 7 years, which means it takes an entire lifetime to travel the whole zodiac. So around 84 years, which, a lot of this kind of like the average age of people, when they move on to the next level of existence. So when it changes sign, it's a big deal because it means that you're on to the next phase of your life, the next sort of step or era in your life. Uranus represents the sign, it's the modern ruler of the sign of Aquarius, which is your direct opposite in the zodiac. And it represents change, it represents revolution, it represents rebellion, it rules technology, it rules higher octaves of thought. It's a very youthful energy, and it's also the kind of energy in stark contrast to Pluto. Pluto is about slow, deep transformation, whereas Uranus kind of comes in, smashes the door open and says, look, I'm here, these are the changes that I'm making, deal with it. And although it takes 7 years to move through a sign, it will very often completely eradicate your old way, shape or being or thought process around one specific area of life or the house that it moves through. And it can see really surprising changes taking place. It can see things happening complete left of field. That's why it carries, it's the sign of, that's why it's got links to the sign of Aquarius. It's about abstract ideas, thoughts and thought processes that are deemed to be strange. It's completely out of the box. It's a completely different energy. It's also, as well, one of the things that I've said to everybody so far is when you rebel against something, rebellion, Uranus, it's very often about you refusing or refuting the or even not necessarily resisting, because when you resist something, it's like you don't want to hear it. When you rebel against something, I personally feel that it's about you rebelling against your programming or your conditioning and really asking yourself, are those my thoughts and feelings around this specific area of life, or is it stuff that I've picked up along my life path? And Uranus tends to bring the kind of change that you've either been ignoring or putting off, but it puts it directly in your front garden and says you can't ignore this anymore, you're going to have to deal with it. In the tarot, Uranus is represented by the Tower, and as many of you know by now that those of you that have been with me a long time, the Tower is about huge sweeping change. It's explosive, it's electrifying, it's all of those things, and it kind of just says, look, I'm making these changes and you're just going to have to deal with it. And that's the energy of Uranus. Taurus, in stark contrast, it couldn't be any more different. Taurus is fixed earth. It's slow moving. Taurus rules the second house, so it's about what you value. It's about how you value things. It's about the earth itself, the environment. It's about food and agriculture. It's about our environment and even our physical body as well in some aspects. Now the interesting thing is Taurus is a fixed sign, and so are we. I mean, I'm an ascendant Leo, so that's quite important. This is quite important for me as well. I'm interested to see what comes up. And this kind of asks you, I've got my trusty notes here as well, because this will be happening in your 10th house, or our 10th house. So this is, I think we're going to see a lot of rise in technologies that are about the earth, about making the earth a better place to live, about making the environment cleaner, about, creating a way of life that lives more harmoniously with the earth itself. And also in terms of finances, the monetary system and, all of that stuff, I think we're going to see huge sweeping changes in that as well. And some surprising ones that come left of field that nobody sees coming. Okay, so Uranus moves into your 10th house, and if you work with or in technology such as I do, like what I'm doing now with the YouTube stuff, a period of surprising and even overwhelming expansion could be in store for you. So the next 7 years for people, you know, because your 10th house is all to do with your career. It's all to do with what you do for work. It's about the image that you present professionally. It's about what you do and how you do it in the world. It's about how you choose to be seen in the world. And Uranus in the 10th house, especially for, you know, in Taurus, opportunities to further your career and social status through technological or internet-based means, because this glyph actually represents a satellite. So that's the airwaves. That's, you know, it could be TV, it could be internet, it could be radio, it could be, you know, via an app, all of the above, you know, or any one of them specifically. The internet-based means it could very well be par for the course and surprising connections that are made. So during the course of your career over the next 7 years, you could find yourself sort of interacting with and connecting with people on a professional level through technological means. And that could sort of, the way that I feel is, especially with this transit, it could kind of run away with itself. The next 7 years is the time where you could very well go viral for something. Keep an eye on what you say and how you say it. Watch your journey on the way up, because sometimes, here we go. So what I've put here, surprise opportunities could arise and will require you to act quickly in order to grasp them fully. Don't forget, Uranus is the planet of swift change. So, you know, this could be you shooting up the ladder of success quite quickly. What I always say to people is be kind to people on the way up, because you never know who you're going to need on the way back down if you end up coming back down. Fame is a fickle friend, a very, very fickle friend. It's the planet of the unpredictable too. So something that you commit to could very well grow legs and take you further forward than you had anticipated. And this blessing could also provide itself to be a challenge. And that's really true when you think about it. You know, sometimes we just think, oh, you know, I want to be successful. I want to do this. I want to achieve that. And, you know, I want to make this happen and da-da-da-da-da. And it's funny because the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, which is all to do with achievement, accomplishment, you know, finally getting to your goal. You know, in your career, that's very much what it's about. You build a reputation, you build connections, you go through it like sort of steadily to build a name for yourself, and you hope that one day you achieve the highest sort of position or accolade or whatever it is in your chosen field that you can. You know, everybody hopes for that at some point, because otherwise you wouldn't do what you do. What I would caution, not necessarily caution against, but what I would say is this, over the next 7 years, you could end up shooting into the stratosphere, and that's great. It's wonderful. The idea of it is just amazing. What could be sort of overwhelming about that is it's like, wow, okay, bam, now I'm here. You know, when you see this a lot of the time with like the reality TV shows and stuff, people just chase that winning spot, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, you're thrust into the limelight, your personal life, you know, every bit of your history, every detail of who you are, including what colour your friggin' underwear are plastered out there for everybody to see. That's something that you need to be prepared for. You know, because reaching the top spot in anything tends to come with that kind of energy. So it's all well and good saying, oh, you know, I really want to make it quickly and I want overnight success and da-da-da-da. And then when you get there, it's like, oh shit, okay, I'm here now. Do you know what I mean? And everybody wants to have a little peek into who I really am and all the rest of it. That's the part of it that could be overwhelming, and that's the part of it that could be a challenge. As this expansion and notoriety could expand so big, wide and well, so too could you see your time, your personal space and freedom diminish. That's a big one, because when you think about it, when you become a public figure, when you become famous, everybody knows this, you kind of forfeit your freedom and your privacy. You kind of, and you know, if you've got other commitments like a family, like children, you know, a wife, a husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, all of the above, you know, the time that you get to spend with them, the quality of the privacy that you have with them could be diminished because you find yourself so sought after and so much in the limelight. And this is going to be the challenge. This is going to be the trade-off. It's something that you really need to look at. And the interesting thing is, Leo is about that. It's about being on stage, right? Leo is about, you know, presenting yourself to the world and saying, here I am, this is who I am, you know, love me for my art, love me for who I am, see me for my art and for who I am, you know. And that's something that you're really going to need to think about, because you're going to be on stage. And, you know, the chances are with a 7-year transit, you're going to be on stage for a long time. And you need to ask yourself, or not necessarily ask yourself, you need to find ways of dealing with that, or from the offset, put in place, I'm happy to do this and I'm happy to be this and to be seen, you know, in general. But I will require a modicum of freedom and privacy to continue my personal life. This could very well be a period where you go viral, rise up the ranks, get noticed, and even find fame. It's all very exciting, but there is a warning. Remember, fame is a fickle mistress, especially when everyone wants a piece of you. It's all worth it noting. Yeah, as I said, you know, be nice to everybody on your way up, because you never know, Uranus, left of field, you know, surprising events and all the rest of it. As quickly as you go up, snakes and ladders, you could find yourself on the way back down. And if you were unkind, unfair, or unjust to people on the way up, many people are going to enjoy your downfall. And that's why I say, with this transit, especially over the next 7 years, this is a time for you to shine. Absolutely, it's a time for you to achieve your goals and accomplish things, possibly even find fame or go viral or anything like that, especially Uranus, because, you know, like we talked about, internet-based means, technological stuff, social media, and that's great. But remember, as they build you up, so too will they tear you down if you find yourself on the way down. So be very kind and very just to everybody on your rise up, because you never know what or who you will need on the way back down. And then what else have I put here? These always ensure that we are kind to those below us, and also remember who helped you on your way up. And that's a really, for me, what I feel is that's kind of a mark of your character. That's the true test of your character. When you're, you know, in the seat of power, when you're in the, you know, in the spotlight and the limelight, how you treat the people that, and when I say below you, I don't mean like holier than thou and all that shit, or, you know, look at me, I'm famous so I'm above everyone. What I mean is how you treat the people that are considered or perceived to be below you will be a mark of your true character. It will talk directly of who you are as a person. Do you have integrity? Do you deserve to be where you are? Did you deserve the meteoric rise to fame? Because you might find yourself coming back down to reality, Taurus, really quick with a sharp bump if you're not, you know. And that's one of the things. This is being kind to those who surround you and interact with you while you rise to the spot that all Leos secretly crave. There is a part of all Leos and anybody with a strong feeling of leonine energy that they have a sense of destiny. You know, they have a sense of, you know, of knowing or feeling that they're special in some way, shape or form. It's not necessarily a complex, but one of the things my my astrology teacher always says is anybody that has Leo on the ascendant or has a really strong Leo presence should watch the Star Wars films, should watch the Harry Potters, should read books that have that kind of story, because it's all about overcoming your adversity and knowing that there was something different or something different, Uranus, Aquarius links, different and special about you, but only discovering it through the process of the unfolding of becoming who you are. And then you see usually these people that achieve these, you know, that come up from the ranks, it's somebody that's an underdog. It's somebody that knows what it is to go without, somebody that knows what it is to face adversity. And one of the things about leonine energy, because it's ruled by the sun, I believe, you know, and the sun is the biggest thing in our entire solar system. You know, everything revolves around the sun. To be given that kind of energy, that kind of responsibility, requires a lot of integrity. It requires a lot of strength. And the reason Leo, you know, tends to achieve those high status goals and stuff and find the limelight is because they come from a background where they weren't noticed or didn't have access to or went without, or were treated in the sometimes in the most awful ways, and they crave that better life, and so they push for it and they achieve the level of the sun, the highest goal that they can. And then finally I've put here, how big and how far and how wide you can take this relies only on your ability to ride the winds of change as if you had wings, to become a griffin instead of just a kitty cat. And that is the truth of it. The Leo is a lion. What is a lion with wings? A griffin. A very powerful, strong archetype. One that rules over, not just the earthly kingdom, but takes to the skies and is able to see a different and higher perspective. This is, effectively, Leo has the chance now to become the griffin, not just to be practical and down to earth and achieve in the earthly kingdom, but to rise above all of that as well and not buy into its own hype so much that it becomes disconnected from where it once found itself. And that is going to be really important, like I said, how you treat people on the way up and how you treat people when you are up. Interesting stuff, really interesting stuff. So the first year of this transit, we'll see you experiencing the moon. So this will be you searching your past. The first year of this transit will bring people back from your past, people that you used to work with, people that have seen you before you were famous, people that have been a part of your life before you were known for what it is that you're about to become known for. And one of the things that I've always said, because I used to dance and I used to sing and I used to act, and I always used to say like, if I'm ever famous, I'm gonna make sure that the people that I surround myself will be the people that I grew up with and the friends that I had when I was younger. And the reason I said that to myself, and the reason I've always had that mentality, is because those people, no matter how famous you are, how much money you've made, what status you gain, those will be the people that keep your feet on the ground. Those will be the people that give you the Taurus. Those will be the people that give you the challenge. Those will be the people that give you the Uranus in Taurus to say, well, you know what? Actually, you need to sit your ass back down and become a bit more humbled, because I remember when you weren't, when you didn't, when you hadn't. And the moon card represents your past. It represents your instincts. It represents your subconscious. And I really believe that the first year of this transit is going to see you digging through your past to really remember who you are at a core level, so that as you begin to achieve these new rises in status and fame and all the rest of it and notoriety, you remember who you are at a core level. You remember what it was before you had any of these things, so that you stay and remain humble. So the second year of this transit, the Magician. Wow, look at that. The second year of this transit sees you waving your magic wand. It sees you really starting to make strides. This is when you will start to be noticed, and when you will start to become a master, when you will start to be seen as an authority within your field, whatever your field is. As if you work in technology and internet-based stuff and all of that, you will absolutely find, like I said, it goes really well for you. If you happen to, to be a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you're a tree surgeon, whatever you are, whatever your career path is, not your job, your career, your vocation, the thing that is truly representative of who you are, the second year of this transit is when you start to become an authority of that. This is when you elevate towards the master level and people start to see you and will start to kind of say, wow, okay, this person is heading towards the height of their game. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The third year of this transit, the Nine of Pentacles, stunning card. It represents beauty, it represents accomplishment, but it also represents the application of skill. So not only in the second year do you start to get noticed for what you do, in the third year you appear to be able to do it with ease. You appear to be, and the true, one of the taglines that I have taken from a film that I absolutely love, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The novice girl who's like amazing. Like everyone's like, oh my god, nobody can believe that she was trained by like a lesser martial artist. You know, and she's even better than the tutor that taught her, and she challenges one of like the guys who's highest in martial arts and stuff, and then he humbles her back down a bit. They have like a battle, and one of the things that he does with the sword is like a magician thing. If you haven't seen this film, watch it and look out for this line. He pulls the sword out and he smacks her with like an energy burst, and he said, "Real skill comes without effort." And the message of the magician is, I got goosebumps. My whole body is on fire right now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Real skill comes without effort. The magician sees you being noticed for the skill that you have. The Nine of Pentacles in the 3rd year of this transit demonstrates why people are taking notice of you in your chosen field, because you appear to be doing what you do, what your vocation or your career is, with such grace that it appears to come without effort. The 4th year of this transit, the 9 of it's interesting because the 4th or the 3rd year seems to be the year where the challenge shows up, where the curveballs that Uranus is going to throw us comes up. So this sees you, the 9 of Wands is a bump. It's that moment of not being heard. Like I said, this could be about your freedom. This could be about those moments of, wow, you know, I've achieved all of this, and you know, everybody comes to me for my say-so, but I'm actually feeling a bit lonely. I'm actually feeling like people just see the persona, but they don't really see who I am. This could be that experience. The 4th year could see you feeling quite alone, or quite unnoticed, and not unnoticed, like, you know, when people say like you could be surrounded by 1,000 people and still feel more alone than you ever have. It could be that kind of experience in the 4th year of this transit, and that's one of the prices for, you know, for hitting the big time effectively. The other part of this as well, it could also see you, you know, suffering a bit of a knock. It's almost like, you know, when people think, oh, you know, this person's getting too big for their boots, and so they suffer a knock. But usually when I see this card, it's people not feeling listened to. They're not feeling like they can truly express themselves. So that will be the challenge year. The 5th year of this transit, the 3 of Wands, the 5th year of this transit will allow you to travel. It will allow you to take a bit of a break. And the interesting thing is, the 3 of Wands is about your ship coming in. It's, you know, it can be financial windfalls. It could be investments finally coming good. It could be, you know, any one of these things. But also what it could speak about is you achieve so much stellar success, and then you have, you know, a moment where you're like, actually, I need to take 5. I need to bring it down a bit. I need to find somebody that's just going to treat me as I am. So you go on a journey, you go on, you know, some travel where you decide to really say to yourself, okay, I want to go and see what else is out there in the world. And more importantly, I want to interact with people that don't know me for what I'm known for, that don't know me as, you know, this person or whatever. And that gives you a fresh and broader perspective. It brings you back down to earth in some way, shape or form. But it's still a great year, you know. The 6th year of this transit, the 7 of Cups, this could see you feeling a little bit disillusioned. It's like, I've achieved all of this success. I've now seen the world, you know, or I've seen different perspectives. I've got totally different insights. But I feel like I'm doing more than ever. I feel like, you know, it's like kind of you go on your break and your travel, and you come back and it's sort of straight back into the race, and you're like, I thought I'd come away from this. Well, you can't. You will have already built up a specific structure. So the 7 of Cups asks you to focus on a few things as opposed to spreading yourself thin with too many things. And then finally, the 7th year, the culminating year, with, oh God, they're all going everywhere. The final year of this transit, the star card. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. The star card represents the sign of Aquarius. Uranus rules Aquarius, and Uranus in Taurus is all about changing your viewpoint of practicality, but more importantly, it represents you changing your status in the world, because this is your 10th house. So it asks you, you will go through all of that, and the things that you build will be things that you build for a very long time to come. The star card is always a long prediction of around 17 to 21 years. So we're talking quite far into the future. And the culminating experience, because Aquarius represents the group, it represents the people, it represents the group consciousness. This is about you taking everything that you've achieved financially, career-wise, and then offering it out to other people. So supporting other people financially. It will see you doing entrepreneurship. It will see you building things, or investing in technologies that make practical everyday life better for other people. And it will also see you teaching the secrets of your success to others, and that is what it's all about. That's really exciting for me to see, actually, because obviously I'm an Aquarius sun sign and I'm a Leo ascendant, so this is really speaking to me. I'm excited, and also a bit whew. There's some really, really big stuff there, guys. Remember, this is a 7-year transit, so dip back into it. This isn't just for the here and now. Oh, okay, so Uranus moved into Taurus, let's just forget about it. You won't be able to, because it's going to continue to change things. It's going to continue to shake shit up. So dip into this, comment on every single year. I hope you stay with me for the next 7 years, and in 7 years time we can look back and say, fuck, do you remember all the predictions that Raf made? And then you start to see them take place. This is going to be really exciting stuff. And also for the purposes of research for tarot and astrology, and furthering those things within the world, this is going to be really important, I think. So please share your stories. If you haven't, please like, share and subscribe to the video and the channel. If you feel like this video has helped you in any way, shape or form, feel free to donate on the link below. We would be eternally grateful for it. I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. And it is all possible right here. Like I said, just remember how you treat people, because you never know what you're going to need. All the best, guys. Take care.